Who was here first, Enlil or Lucifer? A question that has intrigued many, sparking countless debates. It's a conundrum that delves into the uncharted territories of the ancient and the arcane, a journey through the labyrinth of mythology. On one hand, we have Enlil, a name that resonates with the echoes of Sumerian mythology. The ancient Mesopotamians revered Enlil as the god of wind, earth, and storms, a deity of immense power and authority. Regarded as one of the supreme deities of the pantheon, Enlil's tale is engraved in cuneiform script, on clay tablets that have withstood the ravages of time. On the other hand, we have Lucifer, a figure shrouded in controversy and mystery, often associated with the devil in Christian theology. Lucifer's story is one of rebellion and fall. However, delve deeper, and you'll find that his origins are not as straightforward as they seem. Lucifer, the morning star, the bringer of light, has roots that twist and turn through various cultures and interpretations. This eternal question of who came first, Enlil or Lucifer, is not just about chronological precedence, it's about understanding the evolution of belief systems, the overlapping and intertwining of mythologies, the human propensity for storytelling, and our quest for knowledge. It's a question that has sparked fascination, controversy, and a myriad of interpretations. So prepare to journey through time, to traverse the shifting sands of ancient civilizations, to explore the convoluted corridors of theological discourse. There will be revelations and conjectures, facts and fictions. It's a narrative as old as time, yet as fresh as the morning sun. Join us as we delve into the rich tapestry of mythology to unravel this mystery. Our journey begins in ancient Sumer with the deity known as Enlil. As we delve into the mists of time, we find ourselves in the heart of ancient Mesopotamia in the city of Sumer. Here the Sumerian pantheon of gods reigned, and among them one figure stood tall and mighty, Enlil, the god of wind, earth, and air. The Sumerians held Enlil in high esteem, considering him the chief deity among their gods. His name in the Sumerian language translates to Lord Wind. But this was not just a reference to his dominion over the elements. It also symbolized his role as a force of nature, a mover of worlds and destinies. Enlil's origins, according to the Sumerian texts, are fascinating. He was believed to be the offspring of An, the sky god, and Kai, the earth goddess. This union of sky and earth gave birth to Enlil, a deity who inherited the vast powers of his parents and was known for his wisdom and might. Enlil's story is woven with threads of power and authority. As the chief deity, he held the tablets of destiny, which bestowed upon him the power to determine the fate of gods and men alike. He was seen as a creator, a destroyer, and a preserver, embodying the cyclical nature of life and death, creation and destruction. His tales, as recorded in ancient cuneiform tablets, speak of his great deeds and the pivotal role he played in the creation and maintenance of the world. From the separation of heaven and earth to the creation of mankind, Enlil was at the center of it all. But Enlil was not just a benevolent figure. He was also known for his wrath and the devastating consequences it could bring. One such story tells of his annoyance with the noise made by humans, leading him to bring about a great flood to silence them. Despite these darker aspects, Enlil remained a respected and revered figure in Sumerian mythology. His complex character mirrored the unpredictable and often harsh realities of life, making him a relatable and compelling figure in the eyes of the Sumerians. With Enlil's story set, let's move on to the next intriguing figure, Lucifer. Now let's journey to a different time and place, where we encounter the figure of Lucifer. In the realm of Christian interpretation, Lucifer is often depicted as a fallen angel, the embodiment of pride and rebellion. However, his origins and persona are more complex, layered with mythology and religious interpretation. The name Lucifer, derived from the Latin term lucem fere, meaning light-bringer, initially carried no negative connotations. It was a reference to Venus, the morning star that appears in the east before sunrise, a symbol of illumination and enlightenment. However, the biblical narrative of Lucifer takes a different twist. In the Old Testament, specifically in the book of Isaiah, a passage speaks of a fallen morning star, a figure who once dwelled in heaven but was cast down for his pride. This passage, although initially referring to a Babylonian king, over time was associated with Lucifer. This transition from a celestial entity to a fallen angel is the cornerstone of the Luciferian narrative. Lucifer, once an angel of high rank, is said to have been consumed by his beauty and wisdom, gradually succumbing to pride and ambition. His desire to ascend above the clouds, to make himself like the Most High, led to his downfall. The book of Ezekiel further paints a vivid image of Lucifer's fall, depicting him as an anointed cherub expelled from the holy mountain of God. His heart was lifted up because of his beauty. He corrupted his wisdom by reason of his brightness. This narrative cements Lucifer's role as the archetype of pride leading to downfall, of beauty marred by arrogance. From this point, Lucifer becomes synonymous with Satan, the adversary of God, the embodiment of evil in the world. He becomes the tempter in the Garden of Eden, the deceiver who leads humanity astray. His fall from grace is mirrored in the fall of humanity, linking his story with the broader narrative of sin and redemption in Christian theology. It's fascinating, isn't it, how a figure associated with light and enlightenment could undergo such a dramatic transformation, becoming a symbol of darkness and rebellion. It's a testament to the dynamic nature of mythology and religious interpretation, how figures can evolve and change over time, shaped by cultural, historical, and theological influences. Now that we've explored both Enlil and Lucifer's stories, let's delve into their timelines. Let's walk through time, tracing the footsteps of Enlil. As we delve into the ancient world of Mesopotamia, the timeline of Enlil begins to unfold. Born of the primordial deities An, the sky, and Kai, the earth, Enlil was a prominent figure in Sumerian mythology, the stories of which were first documented around the 4th millennium BCE. Enlil, the lord of the air, held dominion over the earth and its beings. His reign, as depicted in the Sumerian texts, was an era of divine authority and cosmic order. The ancient city of Nippur, considered the religious hub of the Sumerians, was his sacred abode. Here, the Ekur, or mountain house, served as Enlil's temple, a testament to his influential role in Sumerian society. As centuries rolled on, the influence of Enlil stretched across the Mesopotamian landscape. His legend was etched in the clay tablets of the Ebla archive around the 24th century BCE, and in the royal inscriptions of Ur-Nammu, the founder of the 3rd dynasty of Ur, around the 21st century BCE. Enlil's name and deeds were echoed in the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest known pieces of literature, written around the 18th century BCE. As time passed, around the middle of the 2nd millennium BCE, Enlil's prominence began to wane. The rise of Marduk, the city god of Babylon in the Babylonian pantheon, gradually overshadowed Enlil's significance. Nevertheless, Enlil's legacy lived on, leaving indelible imprints on the sands of Mesopotamian history. And so, we see Enlil's timeline, stretching over thousands of years, from his mythical birth to his reign, and eventual fade into the annals of ancient history. Yet his story continues to resonate, a testament to the enduring power of mythology. With Enlil's timeline established, let's explore Lucifer's. Now, let's traverse through the ages, following the trail of Lucifer. To understand Lucifer's timeline, we delve into the rich tapestry of biblical texts and historical interpretations. Lucifer, often equated with Satan or the devil, is a figure primarily from Christian tradition. His story is one of ambition, rebellion, and fall. In the beginning, Lucifer was an archangel created by God himself. He was known as the morning star, the brightest among angels, symbolizing his high standing and prestige. His life in heaven was one steeped in glory and admiration, until pride led him astray. In what could be termed the first act of rebellion in all of creation, Lucifer, driven by a desire to be equal to God, led a revolt against the divine order. This monumental event is often placed before the creation of humanity, marking the first instance of sin. The revolt ended in failure, and as a consequence, Lucifer was cast out of heaven. This marked the beginning of his existence as the fallen angel, a symbol of evil and temptation. He would go on to play a significant role in the story of Adam and Eve, introducing sin into the world of humans. Throughout history, Lucifer's influence is said to persist, manifesting in various forms of temptation and evil. His story continues to be a source of intrigue, inspiring countless interpretations and debates. Lucifer's timeline, like that of Enlil, is one filled with power, rebellion, and consequence. Both figures, although from different mythologies, share a common thread of authority, defiance, and their influence on humanity. Now, with both timelines in front of us, let's compare. In our quest to answer who was here first, let's compare our findings. We've delved into the stories of Enlil and Lucifer and charted their timelines. Now it's time to put these timelines side by side and see what they reveal. As we've learned, Enlil, a Sumerian deity, has a story that dates back to the cradle of civilization, to the dawn of the written word. His name surfaces in the earliest cuneiform texts, etched in clay tablets by the Sumerians of Mesopotamia, around the 4th millennium before the Common Era. Enlil, the Lord of the Wind, was revered as a chief deity, ruling over earth, air, and storms, a testament to his prominence in the pantheon. On the other side, we have Lucifer, a figure that emerges much later in history. His story begins with the advent of monotheistic religions, specifically within the context of Christianity. The name Lucifer, meaning light bringer, first appears in the Latin Vulgate Bible in the 4th century of the Common Era. Initially, it was not a name, but a title, a reference to the morning star or the planet Venus. It was only later that the term Lucifer came to be associated with a fallen angel, a symbol of pride and rebellion. When we compare these timelines, it's clear that Enlil's story predates that of Lucifer by a vast span. We're talking about a difference of almost 4,000 years, but it's essential to remember that these figures are products of their respective cultures and times. Enlil was born out of the polytheistic Sumerian culture, where multiple gods governed different aspects of life and nature. Conversely, Lucifer is a product of monotheistic belief systems, where a single all-powerful deity presides, and moral dichotomies of good and evil are more pronounced. What's more, the way these figures have been perceived and interpreted has evolved over time. Enlil, for instance, was once viewed as a supreme deity, but over time, with the rise and fall of civilizations, his prominence waned. Lucifer, on the other hand, started as a celestial symbol and evolved into a representation of evil. In essence, while Enlil's narrative appears first in recorded history, the stories of both these figures are deeply intertwined with the cultures and belief systems that created them. They are, in many ways, reflections of the societies they emerged from and the philosophical questions those societies grappled with. Having compared both, it's time to draw our conclusions. So, who was here first, Enlil or Lucifer? Let's conclude. As we've journeyed through the histories of Enlil and Lucifer, we've unraveled a captivating tapestry of mythology and religious narratives. Each entity, deeply rooted in their respective cultures, carries a story that has been passed down through the ages. We've learned about Enlil, the Sumerian god of wind, air, earth, and storms, a deity whose tale dates back to one of humanity's earliest civilizations. Enlil, depicted as a powerful and sometimes wrathful figure, was a cornerstone of Sumerian mythology, his narrative woven into the very fabric of their understanding of the world. Then we explored Lucifer, a figure whose origins are tied to Judeo-Christian traditions. Known as the morning star, the bringer of light, Lucifer's story is one of ambition, rebellion, and fall from grace. Despite the negative connotations often associated with him, Lucifer's tale is a compelling exploration of free will, choice, and consequence. When we put these timelines side by side, it becomes clear that Enlil's narrative predates that of Lucifer. The Sumerian civilization where Enlil's story originates existed long before the birth of the Judeo-Christian traditions that brought us Lucifer. However, it's essential to remember that these timelines don't necessarily indicate who existed first in a literal sense. After all, these are figures of mythology whose existence is rooted in belief, interpretation, and narrative, rather than empirical historical fact. So in the end, the question of who was here first between Enlil and Lucifer is less about chronological order and more about the captivating stories these figures represent and the deep, cultural significance they hold. It's a testament to the enduring power of mythology, the human need for narrative, and our eternal quest to understand the world around us. Remember, mythology is a fascinating world of stories and interpretations, and the question, who was here first, only adds to its allure.